Center. Your account balance is $6.27. To hear the charges for this, press 2. To accept this call, press 5. To refuse this call will be recorded and subject to monitoring at any time. Thank you for using IC Solutions. You may begin speaking now.
Hello.
Hi, how are you today?
Oh, I'm good. I called earlier, but the officers hung the phones up on all of us.
Yeah, I think you got cut off early in the middle of a sentence.
Yeah, and they locked us down, and I was like, okay. Could I have finished my call at least?
Nope.
Anyway, how's everything going?
Yeah, I think yesterday the judge said to Todd Engel that he only has 3 rights. One is to testify himself. He's not allowed to go pro se. 2 is he's allowed to plead guilty. And his 3rd right is that after he's convicted, he can appeal. And that's all the rights he has.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Well, isn't he in trial right now?
Yep, he's in trial right now, and there was 7 weeks the government had to put on their prosecution case, and then last week was a blackout, and then yesterday started up the defense, and then the jury was only in the courtroom for half an hour or less, and They were kept out while the defense tried to bring up a whole bunch of witnesses, and the judge said, nope, you're not allowed any witnesses because they're third party, even though they were there. She calls them lay witnesses. And there was one lady, I guess the lady who was pushed or something, I forget her name. She wanted to testify, and the judge completely intimidated her and said, well, you can speak to the judge and get a lawyer because you might indict yourself, and intimidated her. So the only witness is going to be, I think, Eric Parker. He's going to be a witness because there are no witnesses, and it might wrap up it might wrap up in like 2 days.
The case?
Yep.
Well, how long does the defense get to prove it?
2 days.
I thought the defense was supposed to get like a couple of weeks or something.
That's what we said. So now everybody's calling for dismiss all charges. And Daniel Love is not allowed to be even mentioned. His name is not allowed to be mentioned in court. And he's like the #1 witness, or whatever. I don't know what you call him. But there's a Google Daniel Love, everybody's hashtagging Google Dan Love.
We found Gary Hunt.
Yeah. And Gary Hunt is in Sacramento on his way to Oregon because he didn't show up for whatever it was the judge wanted him there for. Printing the articles.
Informants.
Well, I can't believe that. So how are you supposed to? So they're not even letting them defend themselves in the courtroom.
Nope, no defense allowed.
Why? It sounds. Oh, I guess it's not much different than Russia after all.
Nope, not at all.
Sounds like something that would happen in a communist nation.
Exactly.
Only the prosecution's allowed to convict you.
Exactly.
I hope that's getting reported around.
Yeah, well,
they did the same thing in the Ken Hovind trial. The prosecution got like weeks and weeks of boring, overwhelming garbage testimony, and when the defense got up, nothing was allowed. So it's the same story in every courtroom all over America.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it just gets crazier and crazier every single day. It's such drama.
Well, what do you expect? The party of Democrats is the party of slavery.
Yeah.
Boy, I guess you don't get more draconian than that. I guess the only other thing is they'll start executing people for waving an American flag.
Yep, you got that right. The LA Times yesterday put out the most horrible article about Cliven and the whole
I
situation.
put it in the mail to him.
It's in the mail on its way.
Really?
Oh, does he have access to email?
Do you have access to email?
No, I don't get access to anything. So the defense didn't even get a week to present their case.
Well, it hasn't rested yet. I don't know. I'm waiting to see what happened today.
They're not allowed to pro se, which is against their rights.
Yep.
They're not allowed to call witnesses, which is against due process.
Yep.
They're not allowed to call informants, which is against due process. So
Right.
they can't cross-examine.
Right. And you know, Greg,
Well,
you heard that Greg Burleson was an informant, right?
yeah, my wife told me.
Yeah.
And who? I don't know if I believe that or not, because now how did they determine that?
Well, it came out by accident. I think his attorney was had him on the stand or something, and he accidentally let it slip.
That's weird, because if he's an informant, why is he locked why did he have the indictment locked up with us?
Well, nobody has actually seen him locked up. They say that he's in a medical wing because of his diabetes and his loss of sight, but he could be down the street at the Holiday Inn for all we know. But he is.
Well, I mean, because I remember going to trial with him that he was locked up.
Well,
with us, because me, Todd, everybody, we were all in the back of the van, and he was right in front of us, and they put him right in the van with us.
he was the only one who called for violence, and that Longbow Productions fake documentary company filmed him calling for violence, and they played that in the courtroom.
Did they play any of my statements yet?
I have no idea. They won't let cameras in there.
Wow, that's crazy.
It's not a public trial. They won't even let constitutions in the front pocket of your shirt in the room.
Well, I guess you hope you have a jury that can see
I
that
hope.
kind of bias.
Oh, we're praying.
And go, these guys aren't guilty, because you can't expect us to find them not guilty when you're not allowed evidence for them to defend themselves. I can't form an opinion out of that.
It's crazy.
But, oh, wow, man.
Yeah.
Well, maybe taking a plea wasn't a bad idea after all. I mean,
Yeah.
what's the point if I can't even get in there to defend myself?
Yeah. It's nuts.
But, so, that's crazy, Greg Burleson.
And
I would have never...
I don't know.
I don't know who Greg is. I never even
I don't
saw him
either.
at Bundy Ranch.
No, me neither. But that's
And-
what's in the news.
Huh.
And Alex Jones has completely blacked out this whole case, right?
Of course he did. He works for the government.
Yeah.
Why do
Well,
you think he gets all the funding for everything he does?
I don't know. But today, I don't know if you remember Lord Christopher Monckton.
No.
He was he's a British guy, and he was at the tip of the spear with the whole birth certificate conspiracy about the fake birth certificate, and got a lot of publicity about that. And then he went on to the climate hoax and how climate change is a lie. And now today live he was on Alex Jones' show, and for the first time Alex wasn't interrupting his guest, and Lord Monckton went on and on and on about the Bundy Ranch trial, constitutional rights, land rights, the judge, and it was the first time there was any talk about it on InfoWars.
Huh.
Since like 2 years ago or whatever.
Yeah, I'm surprised he hasn't been more involved in it, being who Alex Jones is. And to me, that's highly suspect. When you have a real event that happens that's against government tyranny, that it's against the NWO, and he's silent on it, I think tells you everything.
Yeah, it's very suspicious.
I mean, if I was Alex Jones, I'd be marching people down there in hordes, unless he's the federal government said, hey, if you do that, we'll arrest you too.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I really don't know either.
State of fear. You know, look how they put me into a state of fear, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm sure it's happening with other people.
Yeah.
But, yeah, that's just weird. I can't believe that the federal government just allowed to come in and convict people without them being able to have due process. I mean, that is a clear violation of due process. You're not allowed to bring in witnesses to cross-examine because the judges won't allow you to have a defense.
Right, and the judge is terrified of jury nullification.
Well, I think the judge is terrified that when people testify, the jury's going to be like, oh, so the government was in the wrong here.
Yeah,
and
she's made
found not guilty, and she looks like an ass.
She's made rulings that they're not allowed to talk about any and all things that led up to the Patriots pointing guns or having guns. And she's also said that she's made a ruling, I think, that says something like any Patriots with a gun, not pointing guns, but with guns, open carrying, is a threat to law enforcement.
Looked like the law enforcement was the one who was being threatening at the Bundy Ranch when they were throwing women to the ground and trying to stick canines on people with cancer and beating up Ammon Bundy and tasing him for waving a flag.
That's right. Where's the NRA in Las Vegas? They should be at this trial every day, too.
Isn't that interesting that some of those bigger organizations are just staying out of it? Because that's how much people fear the federal government. That's how powerful they've been. I mean, even police are afraid of them.
Yeah, you know, John, do you know who John Lamb is? He's doing live updates every day. Yeah. He spoke.
Well, I don't know him. I know that he's gained a lot of popularity through this.
He's a great guy, and he's doing live updates. And one old man came up to him who was a 7-term congressman, and he was exposing government corruption. And I think his name is like George Nelson. It's a really common name, I forget. Anyway, the term diesel therapy came from what they did to him after he was in Congress 7 terms. They dieseled him around the country for an entire year, and his family didn't even know where he was. So that was a message sent to all of Congress, you know, don't stand up against corruption.
Right, right. Well, I mean, let's see, that's why and I get a lot of flack for this. I tell people I hope for a cataclysm. I really hope for, like, the destruction of America. Like, something happens to it. God brings some kind of judgment that wakes everybody up. Yeah. I think to be honest, I think that's the only way you're going to fix the problem.
Yeah. Well, we do our best, Blaine. We do our best, and God will do the rest. We know the end of the story.
I agree with that 100%.
We know the end of the story.
We do, but, you know, you just seeing it all, you're like, geez, what more do you need to wake up? What more do you need to get on board and go, you know, we really need to gut out the judicial system.
Yeah, I know it's bad.
But
it's the fluoride, I'm convinced.
You gotta gut out all the branches.
Yeah. It's I think the fluoride and the television has put everybody into a state of mesmerized complacency.
Well, I think it's fear.
Yeah,
People are too afraid to say anything because look what happens when you do anything.
Yeah. I think...
you stood for your rights, so now we're going to put you in prison forever.
Yeah. I think when the Twin Towers fell through the path of most resistance on 9/11, it struck fear into the hearts of every American, and they got Stockholm Syndrome for the government.
Oh, yeah. I mean, that's, you know, oh, gosh, protect you. But that's like Benjamin Franklin said, if you sacrifice your freedom for security, you deserve neither and lose both.
Amen.
And that's exactly what Americans did on 9/11. Oh, gosh, somebody ran planes into our buildings. Please protect us. What about your Constitution? We don't care about that. Just keep us protected.
Yeah. I think we need to study.
They gave all this power over the government in the name of the war on terror. But a war on terror is a war on the American people. They declared war on themselves.
Yeah. Have you heard of CMUs, Communication Management Units?
No, I haven't.
These are black sites privately run out of Virginia. There's two. One's in Terre Haute, Indiana. One's in Marion, Illinois. That's where they put the political prisoners, and they manage their communications so they don't have a First Amendment anymore.
Sounds like what I hear about, they call it an ADX.
Yeah.
Have you heard of those?
Yes, yes.
Yeah, or high-profile prisoners or people who are voices of influence. They make them disappear in these places,
right?
So they can't communicate. They can't get out anything.
That's where they're going to put Ammon if he gets convicted.
Terry Nichols, I believe, is an ADX.
Well, more importantly, and Clive and Bundy. Because they're huge voices of influence. And
yeah.
Well, we got to put which ironically, I'm surprised that even myself, that even my plea agreement was 6 years, because I was a huge voice of influence out there. I mean, I pretty much, I got Clive's story viral. I'm the one that told, me and Pete both collaborated, about getting patriots out there to defend the Bundys. And, but maybe they are. Maybe they got me into a plea agreement, bamboozled me so they could throw the book at me and make me disappear, so.
Well, be careful, Blaine, because a lot of times we see, for instance, when Ed and Elaine Brown, they had a tax standoff in Massachusetts, and when their initial when they were found guilty, they only got 5 years each, but they ended up spending 45 years. They bring additional charges later on, so be very careful. Yeah, be careful what you say. Yeah, because we've seen it happen over and over again. I mean, you may have 6 years now, but before this thing is we've seen it over and over again where that happens initially, but then they bring additional charges and you end up with 40 years in prison. Another saying that I heard in the last couple of days is it was radicals that founded this country, and it's going to take radicals to save it,
Oh, absolutely. This country was founded by criminals and, cop killers and drug smugglers, well, not drug, but smugglers. And as popular of an idea that is, I mean, it's going to take radicals and extremists to rise up and do the hard fight that nobody wants to really do if you want to change it. If not, then you just have to kind of accept it. Because we showed that being peaceful, that didn't matter, did it? Yeah. In the American Revolution, we had a body of water that separated us, and it was easy to say it's us versus them, but we're so intertwined now, and they've got control of the media, they got control of the colleges, Hollywood. It's so intermeshed, it's very difficult to say us versus them because they're all around us. Well, they have to win because they have to be able to bring about their Antichrist for the world. Yeah. Yep. But that don't mean we got to accept it peacefully, No, I mean, it's just, I hear that. So, but it almost makes you wonder if we're really that close to the end now. That maybe this was it. Maybe this was God's way of trying to, I always kind of think to myself, prophecy happens because people refuse to do anything about the evil that's being run amok, Yep. So, yeah. No, I think the only people if people just allow themselves to be victims of the system, then naturally that's going to come about, Right. No, if we had to pick somebody to blame for all the tyranny that's going on in America, it is the Christians. Blame ourselves. It's the Christians, right? It's the men of God who refuse to stand up. If we had stood up, it wouldn't be happening. Absolutely, and I think that's where you run into the lukewarm Christians. Those are the people that are going to be in trouble at the coming of Christ. I don't think they're going to be raptured or go to heaven. Yeah. How could they? If you really believe in God and you really believe in the Lord, seeing this evil unfold in front of your eyes, how could you be silent?
1 minute remaining.
Yeah, amen to that.
So, when was Jesus ever silent?
Yeah. Well, he was. He became silent when they accused him at court, and he just wanted to go to the cross, and the devil tried to get him not to go to the cross. Yeah. Yeah. So, I don't know. I mean, I laid my life down for the Bundys, and I went out there and defended them, and now I can't really defend them anymore. It kind of it hurts because
can't even defend myself now. I'm gonna let God do that.
Yeah. Well, you have your integrity and your word, and that nobody can take that away from you.
No, they're sure trying.
Well, they can't.
Don't ever sell it out.
No.
No. I just gotta keep on going. So.
Yeah.
Well, God bless you, brother.
You too. I love you guys.
We love you too, brother.
All right, take care, Blaine.
Bye.
You too. Bye.